Today is just another gorgeous day on the CDT. All day today I've been getting pelted by hail, the wind's been howling, thunder's been booming. It's been fun. That's Mexico behind me. I'm in Antelope Wells right now. Today I'm starting my thru hike of the CDT and the GDT.
What on earth could possibly compel a person to leave their cushy, comfortable life in the city and go hiking for months at a time in the mountains? Why would somebody want to spend such a large chunk of their time alone in the wilderness at the mercy of Mother Nature and carrying the bare necessities to survive? Why would somebody want to go through all that discomfort and not even get any type of tangible reward for it? These are all questions that clouded my head in the desolate deserts of New Mexico as I began to hike the Continental Divide Trail. You see, for as long as I can remember, I've been inexplicably drawn to the mountains. It's hard for people to understand, but I'll take a brutal day in the mountains over a chill, relaxing day in the city any day of the year. Actually, some of the best days of my life have been my most intense and demanding days in the mountains. My memory is beyond bad. Most of the time, I don't remember what happened yesterday, but my past adventures have left me with days that I'll never forget. My relationship with hiking is kind of a weird one. When I'm out on a long hike, generally only a small percentage of the hike is actually a pleasurable experience, but the experience as a whole is always immensely fulfilling. This type of experience is known as Type 2 fun. Type 2 fun is always fun in retrospect, but it involves an immense amount of challenge and difficulty, so how fun it is in the present is determined by your mindset. The landscapes and conditions in New Mexico weren't too extreme, but it was still beautiful, and it was a nice, gradual, leisurely build-up to what I would face next.
Behind me right now is New Mexico, and in front of me is Colorado.
Initially, I thought that I had lucked out with the weather. It had been a relatively warm and dry early spring in Colorado. I got to Colorado in early May, and you could always expect a really high snowpack in early May, but initially the snow was melting pretty fast. I would soon find out though that late spring in the Colorado Rockies was going to be cold and snowy.
Colorado was absolutely gorgeous, but to say that Colorado was intense would be a massive understatement. There was so much snow, so much post-holing, so many days where it never got above freezing. I'm not gonna lie, even though I took a lot of alternate routes, it was still rough. I seriously thought about quitting every single day. I had about a million reasons to quit and not really any solid reasons to stay on trail. Going through the Colorado Trail Collegiate West section of the CDT way too early right now. It is just a minefield of spruce traps. Today's May 21st. I'm at about 8,000 feet in Colorado, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day today. Every day I tell myself the same thing. If I could think of something that I'd really rather be doing besides hiking, something that is more meaningful to me, then I will immediately leave the mountains and go do that thing. I never came up with anything. The struggles that I faced in Colorado actually led to a big realization. I was able to answer a question that I had been asking myself for years. Why do I hike? Why do I put myself through these intense adventures? The answer is actually super simple. I do it because it makes me feel alive. For me, time slows down out here. Days feel like weeks sometimes. Every day, I go through so many different landscapes, I see so many crazy new things, I face so many challenges, I learn so much, I go through so many lows and so many highs. Even when I go through long stretches that are just miserable, I'm still living an incredible amount of life. Out here, I feel like I'm living as much life as I could possibly live. That is really what matters the most to me at the end of the day. That is why I'm standing here. Finally, I made it to Wyoming.
One of my favorite things about hiking is it gives me an incredible amount of appreciation for the simple things in life. You develop a crazy amount of appreciation for basic things like your food, water, and shelter. In civilization, it's hard to just be content and take in everything as it comes because we're conditioned to always want more from life. More money, more stuff, more status, more entertainment, more comfort, more superficial things. It's hard to live a regular life and not fill it up with endless noise from the minute you wake up until the minute before you fall asleep. Now, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I love endless noise and endless stimulation. I happen to really enjoy a lot of the ridiculous, superficial things that I want from life. The problem I run into, though, is I find it hard to get any type of clarity in my life when I'm living a regular life. My head tends to get really clouded up and I don't even realize it. When I'm able to temporarily disconnect from society, the fog starts to clear a little bit. When you're on your own in the wild, you get taught pretty fast that you can't have expectations from the world around you. You can't attempt to control the world around you. It'd be ridiculous to get upset with the world around you. You can't constantly be afraid of the risks and dangers in the world around you. You learn that most of the time shortcuts don't really exist. You learn how to really differentiate your wants from your needs. And most importantly, you learn that most of those emotions that you have bouncing around in your head are just useless noise. The worry, anger, jealousy, guilt, frustration, pain, embarrassment, disappointment, fear, sadness, hate, agitation, doubt, whatever, none of it matters because it's all confined to in between your ears. You realize that all you really need is trust in your internal compass, faith in your intuition. When you're up in the mountains and disconnected from society, so many blatantly obvious things suddenly become clear again, and you begin to see the world from a more realistic perspective. I feel like time out in the wilderness causes a person's soul to start to disconnect a little bit from their monkey brains. When that starts to happen, you stop building up what you have and start building up who you are.
I wasn't really too interested in hiking the official CDT through Idaho and southern Montana, so I just did a quick butte cutoff. I didn't really film too much either. About 2 days ago, I got in Butte, and I thought that I was healthy. I thought that I'd be able to just walk it off, but that is not what happened. I've been sick with all day today. Yesterday, I got a good 10 or 15 miles in, but this morning, I walked about a mile until I threw up my breakfast, just like crawled into the forest and passed out. I slept all day. So tonight I am night hiking. You know what the crazy thing is? That shot that I got wasn't even the right one. I'll explain what happened on the screen, but I ended up getting another one a couple days later, and I ended up spending 3 nights in Helena because of it. Southern Montana and the middle of Montana were kind of low points in the trip, but I expected that, so I just powered through. But once I got up into northern Montana and I got to hiking through the gorgeous Bob Marshall Wilderness, I was really able to realize that my heart just really isn't in this anymore. My goal for this trip was to follow the Great Divide up to the Yukon, but that was really like a just-in-case kind of goal. You know what I mean? Like, this trip really isn't about any type of arbitrary goals. Really, the only reason why I'm out here is just simply because I love it out here. I love how being deeply immersed in nature makes me feel. I love the adventure of all of it. Once I get to East Glacier today, the CDT northern terminus will be just 100 miles away. If I was really determined, I could do that 100 miles in just 3 days. You know, it'd be really easy for me to convince myself that I should just suck it up and I should just push for the northern terminus of the CDT, finish the CDT, just so that I could say that I thru-hiked the CDT. But what's the point of that? I think that the end of the CDT might be the most scenic part of the CDT. And, you know, it'd be cool to see some pretty mountains, but pretty mountains aren't the real reason why I'm out here. At this point, my heart just isn't 100% in this, and I'm excited to move on to other stuff, and I feel absolutely no obligation to finish the CDT, no matter how close I am to finishing. So I am quitting 100 miles before the end.